Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the VO Ventures podcast with me, Coach Erica Dawn. So glad to be back with another episode. I just want to thank you all for being so patient with me. I know I'm like 3 weeks late with dropping this episode, but I am dropping episodes 5 and 6 at the same time. So once you wrap up with listening to this episode, you can go ahead and click on the channel and listen to episode 6 as well. Okay, so again, thank you all for your patience. So I've been dealing with a lot of deadlines at work. I had to develop an online training that was required for all employees of the university where I work to take it. And then after that, I was gone away for a week on a conference for work. So just been super busy. I did attempt to record there while at the conference, but I had some connectivity issues. The microphone wasn't working right. It was just a lot going on. So here I am at home recording for you guys right here, right now. So welcome again to the episode. Couple announcements. We will be having another Intro to VoiceOver workshop really soon. I'm thinking about scheduling it for Thursday, April 25th, but don't quote me on that. If it's not Thursday, April 25th, possibly the following week, but we will have another workshop coming up very soon. So just make sure that you are following me on all social media channels so that you get all the information on how to register for the free event. Also, I'm so excited, you guys, that the audio drama podcast that I'm working on with the first series of that podcast called Harmony and Heartbreak, I am now in the final stages of production on the only 4 episodes that will be included in that first series, and I have begun the writing process for the second series. Super excited about all of that, and I can't wait to share it with you all. I will be dropping some more teasers here in the next couple of weeks so that you guys don't forget that it's coming, but I want to make sure that it is perfect. I want to make sure that it is right and that it will be an enjoyable experience for everyone. So super excited about that. Make sure again that you're following this channel, subscribe to the channel because this is where it will be broadcasting, as well as on Spotify, Podcastle, all of that good stuff. So still trying to figure out some of the other channels with podcasting, working it out, but it's okay. I'm learning as I go, but I am having a really good time with it. So it does take some time to do and extra time to do, but I'm really enjoying it, especially the audio drama podcast. It's my new baby, and I just can't wait for you guys to hear it. But anyway, nonetheless, you guys are here to hear an episode on VO Ventures. So today's episode is titled, Where Are the Gigs? All right, so here on episode 5, we're going to talk about where you can find VO work. And then in episode 6, I'm going to talk more specifically about pay to play, okay? The last episode of this season, I told you that we will do seasons for the VO Ventures podcast. The last episode will be all about audiobooks because the second season of this podcast, I really want to dive deep into the business of it all. So those who follow me, those who are students of my program know that I am huge when it comes to entrepreneurship and business and marketing and doing things correctly and finding your own opportunities in business. So we're going to talk a lot about all of that in season 2 of this podcast. So I kind of want to get all like the basic beginner stuff out of the way. And I feel like audiobooks, just the generic talk about it, fits into this first season. So that'll be the final episode of this particular season. But today we're going to talk about where are the gigs. So again, I'm going to be reiterating a lot of things that you may have heard on some of my workshops if you've ever come or if you've watched the video on my website. I kind of touch on a lot of these things, but I want to talk to you guys here about it on the podcast. So a couple places where you can find VO work. Obviously, we talked about agency representation on the last episode or the episode before. So clearly and obviously, you can find work through your agent or your agent finds the work for you. That usually is #goals for everyone to get signed to an agency. As we discussed before, you do not have to have an agent in order to be successful in the voiceover business. I don't want you guys to ever feel bad or feel jaded by comments or things that you hear out there and making you feel bad for not having the representation that other big VO artists may have. It doesn't matter. You can have an agent and they could still not be calling you, or you could still not be getting opportunities. It happens. I've had an agent for a very long time, but most of my opportunities have come from self-made opportunities. So again, don't beat yourself up if you don't get signed to an agency. It's just all about finding out how to market yourself so that you can find your own path and kick down your own doors. But again, we'll talk more about that later when we get into all the business and marketing stuff. But yes, so with an agent, obviously you will have access to work, but when you're looking for work on your own, freelancing and pay to play is a really good way to go outside of you creating your own opportunities. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. One thing that I want to stress that, again, any of my students will tell you, I stress the use of social media and using that as a tool for your voiceover business. It is a free tool, a free marketing tool that everyone in small business should be using in some form or fashion. Get your IG handles to where it is specific about your voiceover work. Okay. See, I can't help myself. I'm already going into the marketing stuff, but I just can't help it. So one thing you should have is an Instagram where people can follow you, where it is just strictly about your voiceover business. Okay. Of course, you have your personal accounts, but make sure you make an Instagram account, Facebook page, whatever it may be. It doesn't cost you anything at all. You can actually run ads through Instagram and Facebook to find work and find opportunities to advertise yourself and your business. That is another way for you to find work in the industry, okay? Before I get to the big one that most people like to avoid, but is a game changer, let's talk a little bit more about freelancing and pay to play. So freelancing, a lot of my first jobs that I got, my actual first animation gig was through Upwork. Upwork is a really great platform for freelancers of any kind, any services that you provide, but voiceover is also big on Upwork. Now, what I want to tell you is your search engine, your search bar on Upwork is where you're going to find the best opportunities. So, of course, you can filter things out and just say voiceover. And all of the voiceover per se opportunities are going to pop up. However, there are areas where voice actors are very much needed that a lot of times people don't think about those areas as being a niche market for voice actors. One being instructional design, which is what I do now. Funny story, I actually got into instructional design through a voiceover gig that I got on Upwork. I had searched for course narration because I knew as an online course creator and narrator that people who design those courses are looking for e-learning narration. So through that, I got a client who happened to be an instructional designer. Had no idea what instructional design was. At the time, I had already developed online courses and had already designed courses, but I had no idea about the title of instructional designer until I got that client. And when I got that client, she just so happened to show me her storyboard and what she was working on, and it almost mirrored the exact same process that I used to create my online courses. So that sparked my curiosity about instructional design, and that is how I am now in the space of higher ed instructional design, and will be expanding my business, Erica Dawn Voices, to be more of a marketing and instructional design firm where voice actors will be available for hire. And of course, those would be those who are enrolled in my courses and in my program. So super excited about that, but kind of went off path about that. But I just wanted to stress how searching for certain criteria will help you find opportunities better. So think outside of just saying voiceover. Later in season 2, we are going to talk about AI, which was talked about so much in this conference that I went to, and ChatGPT. I mean, every session we talked about ChatGPT. One of the biggest things with ChatGPT is your prompts and learning how to write the correct prompts to get the results that you want. So it's kind of the same when you are searching for jobs and gigs on freelance sites such as Upwork. You want to prompt it to pull up the data that you're looking for and the criteria that you're looking for as a voice actor. So type more than just voiceover in that search box, and other opportunities will come up for you where you may not have even thought or considered to be an opportunity as a voice actor. Okay. Ad agencies. Again, I say this all the time. commercials need advertising or brands need advertising. Advertising usually consists of a commercial or some sort of video ad through social media. A lot of times they need people to narrate or voice those commercials. So that is also an opportunity and a way for you to find work. Let's talk about pay to play. So there are a few sites out there that we all know of. Before we get into pay to play, one more freelance site, which is Fiverr. I'm sure you've all heard of Fiverr, and I'm sure you all heard really negative things about Fiverr. One thing I will tell you with Fiverr is that if you don't know how to use the platform, you will too agree that it is not a good platform to make any money. However, if you know how to use the platform as a business owner, you can indeed make good money off of Fiverr. And as a voice actor, there are many voice actors who use Fiverr. Now, if you go onto the website, they have an option at the top where you can either view as a seller or view as a buyer. If you select buyer and put voice acting, e-learning, narration, whatever it is you would search for if you were looking for a voice actor, you will see so many gigs come up from different freelancers out there who are selling their voice acting services. You will notice a ton of thumbnails. Those thumbnails need to be pretty, they need to be bright, they need to be vibrant in order to stand out from the crowd, okay? You want someone to click on your ad, so your thumbnail has to be popping. All right. Now, as far as how you price your gig, that is completely up to you. But again, please do not get confused by the low rates that you see when you see these thumbnails on Fiverr. These are just the bait, basically. Okay. It's a lead magnet. All right. I will voice your ad for $10. You're really not going to voice an ad for $10, but that is the starting price, right? So that means I go into my studio and I will give you the bare minimum for $10. That's all that means. It does not mean that you are going to be sending them a ton of files and that it is going to be edited and it's going to be great. It's going to sound amazing for $10. No, ma'am, no, sir. That is not how that works. Your base price is what you want to put on your gig for people to see and for clients to see. There is also a misconception that most people are going to go for the cheapest rates. Not true either. Most people are going to go for a high ticket price versus a low ticket price because that means that there's more value on what it is that you are serving. Now, when you first begin, you don't want to do that and go high ticket because you don't have any clients to show any reviews or anything like that. But once you start to get those client reviews and testimonials, start taking your prices up. Okay? Go high ticket. They see the criteria. They see the feedback from clients who have worked with you. They will trust you more than they may trust someone who is at a low ticket with no clients at all under their belt. Okay? So again, don't get too hung up on price and cost and what you're offering. Just set your gig to whatever you feel comfortable with. And there's tons of add-ons once you get into the gig. Okay? You add on for background music. You add on for split files. You add on for expediting the services. You add on for any type of editing that you are doing to your voice. Those are additional prices that add up and can be very lucrative if you are literally operating as a true business owner and freelancer with your voiceover career. Okay? Now, let's touch on pay to play because like I said, the next episode, I'm going to talk more about that. But pay to play just basically means that you are paying a membership fee on a platform, whether it be voices.com, Voice123, whatever it is. You're paying a membership fee for you to have access to all of the auditions that are available on that site. It has been years since I have used voices.com. I still have an account. However, I don't have a paid subscription because I've been doing a lot of work on my own. Well, not a lot of VO work lately as I have shifted into instructional design and narration, but I still do audiobook narration quite frequently, and that takes up a lot of my time. So I haven't had the opportunity to really do a whole lot of commercial voice acting as of late. However, it's been, even when I was doing commercial work, whether it be through my agency or whatever, I did not need that platform necessarily, if that makes sense. Okay, so I got off the platform a very long time ago. Now, I'm considering getting back on because I've been hearing so much chatter lately about these sites, good, bad, indifferent, and I just kind of want to see it out for myself. I'm kind of curious to see what it's looking like today versus how it was back when I was using it. And then, hey, if I get a gig, I get a gig. I can always use some extra money. You know what I'm saying? So, or at least recoup what I pay to become a member again. So there are different tiers that you can select from. But again, I'll go more in depth with that and talk about what my angle is or what my goal is in setting up that account when I go into the next episode. But that is another option for you to find work. For me, and this is just me because it's just my mindset, it's just my preference, and it is really what I school or teach or try to instill in my voice acting students. For me, being a business owner, finding those opportunities is the best and most reliable way to go to find work in this industry. You're going to have to do a little research. You may have to do a little digging. You may have to take some extra notes, but it may not be as simple as just logging into a platform and auditioning versus you having to do some real networking and communication with some folks. And to me, that works better and will help you get to money that you're looking for or a career that you are looking for if you start treating it like a business. Okay, so that is my opinion on that. Now, the big one that I want to talk about before we wrap up this episode is the cold call. All right, no one likes to cold call. I know it's uncomfortable, it's cringy, it's weird. But I will tell you in my own experience and in the experience that I have seen happen with a lot of my voiceover students who have gotten the courage to do the cold call, it has worked in their favor. They got the gig, they got the job, they got the information that they were seeking with the cold call. Okay. And when I say cold call, I don't mean you pick up the phone and call necessarily. That works too. But a cold email or whatever it may be, finding the right contact, the right person to talk to is golden. Okay. So again, we'll talk more about that when we get into the business stuff, but we're just talking about where to find work. And all of the things I listed are ways and possibilities for you to find voiceover gigs. So if you want to know more about how you can, turn this into a business and really take advantage of the marketing and advertising that's out there for your voiceover business, you want to stay tuned for season 2, which will be coming after we wrap next week or the week after. It'll probably be 2 weeks before the 7th episode. So, season 2 will be a few weeks after that. So sometime next month, we will get into the business of it all. All right. So thank you guys for tuning into this episode. One more announcement that I'd like to make is in some development stages and thought processing about creating a course that will be available in the fall regarding DIY demos. Okay. I told you guys before that I get a lot of requests about, can I DIY my demo and what do I need to do in order to be ready for a demo? Well, this class that I am producing will be able to tell you all those things as well as walk you through the process of recording and editing your very own demo. And at the end, we'd have a great listening party and have a lot of fun with that. So I am in the stages of creating that, but I just kind of want to gain some interest too. So if that's something that you would like to see, drop a comment in the video below and let me know if that is something that you would be interested in possibly, so that can kind of inspire me to continue with the development of the course. But it is something that I really would like to do and like to present to everyone, but just want to gain some interest and see how you all feel about that. Okay, so again, drop a comment below, let me know, and just let me know how you feel about the podcast in general and the information that I've been providing up through this point. This is episode 5. Please let me know how it's going. If there's any topics that you want me to discuss, I have a long list of episode topics. So please drop them in the comments and let me know what you would like me to discuss, and I will gladly add it to my list. Okay. So again, thank you all for tuning in to episode 5 of the podcast. And again, episode 6 is also loaded at the same time. So go ahead and head over there and we're going to talk more about pay to play. All right. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. It's Erica Dawn, and thank you for tuning in to the Erica Dawn Voices Podcast Network.